Hello, fight fans. Welcome to another episode of More Than a Fight podcast. As always, I am your host, Jose Alfredo Alcázar, your co host,
Juan.
and behind the camera,
John.
And this one is dedicated to the world of boxing. We had a pretty big Saturday of fights. Of course, we're going to kick it off with the main course, as we always do. And yes, I am referring to Devin The Dream Haney against Lomachenko. And this one was very controversial at the end. And even in the beginning, actually, I'm glad you put that one up because I almost forgot about that part. But Juanillo, how did you see this?
I mean, for selfish reasons, I thought Loma won.
Right.
But I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of professionals, everyone.
Yeah.
Again, he closed harder. That's what's fresh on our minds also. Maybe I need to rewatch it. A lot of people said they rewatched it and they scored it with no commentary and they saw Devin winning. So maybe I got to do that.
No, yeah, and that's what I want to do too because, again, the initial reaction is always going to be sprinkled with emotion, if that makes sense. And I felt like that's where I was. And when I was starting to think back on it, I'm like, wait a minute. Did I really think about all the body shots Devin landed? Did I really take into account how well he was boxing the entire fight? Because this was a chess match. It was beautiful to watch, and I don't want to take away from that because I feel like that's what happens when it's such a close fight, when there's so much emotion. People start to throw that word around, but I'll get into that after the fact. I want to hear what John has to say about it first.
What is it? Lomachenko won?
In your eyes, huh?
Yeah. I think one, like, who got hurt? Haney did. Loma never was hurt. If you look at the numbers, right?
Loma had more landed and threw way more also. So he was very much more active.
Right.
More active. Now, he himself, Lomachenko admitted it himself that he did take off the 12th round. You know, because he thought he had enough points rounds in.
Didn't he learn from De La Hoya? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with that Haney won the start of the fight, you know? And I think, yeah, but like you said, it was a very close fight. We have the scorecards up. Dave Moretti needs to explain himself. Scoring at 116-112 and giving the 10th round to Haney.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah.
But even if Loma won the last round, it would have been a majority draw, right?
That's why it's a close fight. But
it wasn't a robbery. It was close. But more people thought Loma deserved that. Really.
And I'm glad you touched on it there. The key word, robbery.
No,
I think we need to be, and I've said this in other fights, we need to be careful with that word because it gets thrown around too much in boxing. It can't be a robbery if it's a great fight or a close fight and both guys are trading back and forth. Devin Haney did a hell of a job considering who he was fighting, the level of opposition. So it can't be a robbery if they're both going back and forth and the rounds are hard to score at times because some of the rounds were hard to score. And again, did we really pay attention to the body shots? Did we give enough credit to Devin Haney for the way he was throwing his shots? And a lot of the times, yes, Loma would come back, but also Haney would answer. So again, you cannot call it a robbery if it's a close fight and both guys are throwing punches. And it happens too much in boxing. And I think it's just one of those things that's just been cultivated in a way, if that makes sense, where people get used to using the word robbery. And I get very uncomfortable with it because even fans do it a lot. And it's like, you can't say that because it was a close fight. And what was the other fight where they used the word robbery? I'm trying to remember a recent fight.
Rolly the week before, they thought
no.
It wasn't a decision, but he was losing. Yeah. And they stopped it way too soon in the eyes of
But I'm referring to like a close fight where people said that was a robbery. I'm like, that can't be a robbery because it was a close fight. Like Navarrete and Liam Wilson, some people were saying robbery. I don't know. Because of what the ref did. But at the same time, I you can't call that a robbery because it was a very close fight, and more importantly, Navarrete put him away when he had the chance. And people will use the word robbery in that fight too. But there's other examples. I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
But the examples that you're listing, right? Like Rolly Romero, like Catterall and shit, right?
Oh, thank you for bringing up Catterall. That's the one. Yes, that's
why
another
people,
one.
No, but that's why people have that instant reaction.
Yes.
Of this is a robbery because they thought somebody won. And listen, if Loma won, he's fucking up everything. You know what I mean? Because you got Mr. Shakur Stevenson hungry now.
And it's probably not going to happen because Devin's going to move up. That's what I think.
Oh,
Well,
Devin Haney already said he's
money always talks. Money always talks.
Yeah, but I think he just struggles too much to make the weight.
Really quick, now I thought about the other one. It was Rolly Romero against Jackson Mariñez.
Mariñez, yeah.
We both had Mariñez winning that fight.
Everyone had Mariñez winning that fight.
And people, that one you might be able to call it a robbery. And again, it's one of those things where I know I said it initially when we saw Romero and Barroso's fight. The PBC needs to have someone else. That's my opinion. That's why Romero won both fights, because I felt like he lost to Mariñez and they called the fight with Barroso's too early. Those two you can throw that word out, but again, let's just be careful with how we use it. But yes, back to what John is pointing out right here. I think Shakur Stevenson, and we said it when Tank beat Ryan Garcia, and even when we were gonna lead up to this fight, I think this dude is the best at 135 pounds. And I'm referring to Shakur Stevenson because, again, I pointed this out. Devin Haney just doesn't have the power to keep somebody off. Because had he had the power, I think he might have knocked out Loma. But unfortunately, he doesn't.
So, okay, say Devin Haney does move up to 140. Who fights for the championship right away? Does Loma fight Shakur?
If I'm top ranked, yes, that's the fight you want.
Shakur has already said that he would be interested if Devin Haney's moving up to 140. That Loma would be a perfect fight for him to start off with.
Yeah.
You know? And I agree. It would be a very good fight. But I do take Shakur in it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Devin because he had a contract with Top Rank, and if I'm not mistaken, the contract is up.
No, he re-signed for 2 more fights.
Oh, he did?
So, yeah, supposedly...
I didn't know that.
He re-signed with Bob Arum. Then they're going to do... Is it 2 fights you heard?
I think 2 fights, yeah.
Yeah, Paulie Malignaggi. Whatever. Paulie was talking about it after the Haney fight. Saying that he has re-signed.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, no. It was a close fight. I'm surprised at how many people had Loma winning. And of course, the big thing with Stevenson was he got in the ring and he said Lomachenko should be undisputed champion. And tons of other celebrities chimed in and said that was a robbery.
Not just
Lomachenko
celebrities,
won.
other boxers.
Yeah,
a lot of other boxers came in and said, no, Loma won. You know, it's all over the place. Like, yeah, Keyshawn Davis was there that night. Jermaine Ortiz was talking about it. Like, everybody, a lot of boxers are saying.
But I personally wonder, and let me know what you guys think, how much of that shove influenced people's opinion or somehow had an emotional...
Well, no, but that's after the fight.
No. As in, how much did that shove affect people in an emotional way? Does that make sense?
Because he's a bad guy. They're going to root against him.
Exactly. So how much did that affect people's psyche going into the fight?
Hey, but
that going, no, I want Loma to win because he shouldn't have shoved him.
Do you think Loma won or not?
I thought Loma won.
I need to watch it again.
Oh, Jesus
I personally had Loma winning 7-5. Yes.
Okay.
7 rounds to 5. But now that I'm like hearing all of this, I want to watch it again just so I want to make sure that I'm being objective and not just letting emotion run me. That's why I brought up the shove and all that, because I feel like a lot of the times we don't recognize when emotion takes a hold of us as fans, and then we judge a fight based on having that emotion within us, and we don't recognize that.
Okay. So, yeah, let's move on to the almost knockout of the year contender here. We have Junto Nakatani versus Andrew Maloney.
Yes.
And people don't realize that a lot of the stuff you're seeing, you're just seeing the knockout. He was beating him for 12 rounds.
Well, Maloney came to fight. I mean, he wasn't backing down. He was landing his shots also.
Yeah.
Junto's was just always a step ahead and better. And his height helps a little bit too.
Oh,
I gotta
absolutely.
say he's freaking tall.
No, he used his reach very well.
He was
But-
doing those uppercuts.
Oh, those
Yeah.
uppercuts were nice.
I want to make sure we give Maloney credit in this sense because I think we always say this when it's a championship fight and the other fighter that's the challenger doesn't go for it the way they could, or we always say, well, it's a championship fight. What are you doing? You got to go for it. And I felt like we got to, or me personally, I want to give Maloney credit. He went for it and he paid the price, but at least he went for it. He recognized the moment. And that's what happened.
In the 12th
that
round
was just a
with
vicious knockout.
It is.
And it reminded me of Oscar Valdez, who was on this card, and the way he knocked out Berchelt.
And why didn't they give him a chance to get up, man? I'm
Oh,
just joking.
man. But,
No,
no.
yeah, that was
But
a
I want to
beautiful
give
knockout.
Maloney credit. Even though he got laid out like that, he went for it. And he went after Nakatani before this round. The entire fight, I felt like Maloney recognized this is a championship fight. I have a chance to win a title. And he went after Nakatani knowing there was a risk. So also as fight fans, we got to show respect and some love for that. Because you can't always, I feel like more often than not, we knock the guy that doesn't go for it. So let's give him some credit. Unfortunately, it was in very dramatic and brutal fashion, but he went for it.
And congratulations to his brother. I did become champion the week
Yes,
before.
yes.
Yeah, but Nakatani is now asking for a Estrada.
Oh, yes, yes.
Ooh.
I love that fight. I
Yeah,
want to see that.
so that's-
Absolutely.
There's interesting fights coming up for that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then what is-
Bantamweight, again, I know I always try to mention it because I want to show the dudes in that division love because we always focus on the higher weight classes. But Bantamweight, Junto against Estrada would be a great fight.
Yeah. And then we had Oscar Valdez versus Lopez.
Mhm.
Rematch.
Yep.
Yes.
Uh,
I didn't feel there was a need for this one, but I mean, they
he
needed
needed
to
to
put
stay
him in it.
busy
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Well, it's
the
been a while.
rematch.
Yeah.
It's been a little over a year since he fought.
Yes.
His loss to Shakur.
Mhm.
And so now he's set up for
Navarrete,
Yes, Emmanuel Navarrete.
which was supposed to happen
Vaquero.
already, or
Yes.
probably here, but Navarrete got hurt, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So okay, that's next, yeah. So Navarrete beats him, and
No, slow down. Liam Wilson caught Navarrete, so Navarrete gets careless. I think Oscar Valdez has a very good chance. I give him as much of a chance as. Well, actually, I pick him to beat Navarrete for this point, because the same reason I picked him to beat Berchelt, because Berchelt can get careless, and I believe Navarrete is going to do the same thing, because Navarrete fights. That's who he is. He loves to fight.
Navarrete got careless and got caught, but after
And
that,
that's what's going to happen
but
with
after
Valdez.
after that, he dominated.
Valdez
He
is going to catch him.
calmed down.
yeah.
He'll
I
catch him.
think Valdez
He's
is
not
going
a
to catch him.
He did get one. I mean, he got Berchelt like that, but he doesn't hit that hard, like you say.
We're going to find
He's
out. But
not
that'll
one
be an
punch.
excellent fight. The question is, when do you make it?
And then we
September.
Ideally, yeah.
And
but
then quick
You
shout
got to
out
pick your
to
spot.
Vargas here.
Emiliano.
Vargas. Yeah, that he looked good, but again,
Yeah.
he's moving up.
Mhm.
He's moving up in the rankings. He's
Yeah.
still. I mean, they're both newbies, but yeah, no, he's
Mhm.
trained all his life probably. And then we had Murataya also. I don't know if you put
That's
that.
right.
but
That's right. And
Oh, no,
Nakatila.
I had that one being a great fight because Nakatila just whooped
Yeah.
Berchelt. But Berchelt.
Yeah, I was
apparently
surprised
is a
how quickly
shell of himself.
Murataya put him away.
Murataya put him away in the second or
Mhm.
third.
Second.
Oh, he's not gonna-
I want to say it was the second round,
Yeah,
actually.
so 135. Murataya is young and trains with Robert Garcia, and
There
he'll
you
be
go,
ready
yeah.
for a title shot soon.
Great trainer.
Hopefully. Yeah. And then let's go to the other side of the world, right?
Mhm.
UK.
With
Dublin.
Katie Taylor versus Chantelle Cameron.
It was a bad day for Conor McGregor. That's all I got to say.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
a bad
I
day for the
know.
Irish in general, man.
Oh, I felt bad, man, because it was a heartwarming type of story because McGregor did make it a point to help bring Katie Taylor to Ireland and keep the date because Eddie Hearn originally was not gonna do it on the 20th because he said that the government was asking for too much money.
No, it was
was
the
basically-
arena. The
Oh,
arena was asking for
But
a
I thought that was
securities type-
part of it because the
Yeah.
government. But anyway,
yeah.
you might be right.
So we go at, what did you guys think of the fight?
Oh, that was great.
Close.
Oh, it was a great fight.
No, it was very close also.
Yes.
Well, if Katie Taylor did get the nod, was it going to be a robbery?
No, there's been some home cooking.
Yes. Yes,
It
that's
was
a good way
close.
to
It
put
was
it.
a round apart.
No,
few
but
rounds
I'm
apart.
glad the right person won because
Yeah.
Cameron was doing a great job of outboxing Taylor and using her size because Taylor was throwing on the inside. She was flurrying, but I felt like the entire 2 minutes, Cameron was winning more of those 2 minute, the 2 minutes.
Taylor got
Taylor was
tired.
winning 30 seconds of the 2 minutes, but Cameron was doing a great job winning the vast majority of the rounds every time.
Yeah, Taylor to me looked tired very early in the
Yes.
fight. So,
But I think Cameron used her size effectively.
oh yeah, she did. She had a good game
Yeah.
plan, and she did it right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean that's that. Congrats to Cameron. And I think there's going to be a rematch.
Oh,
soon.
without a doubt. She, well, Eddie Hearn already said it, right, John?
Yeah. So she has already activated her rematch clause.
Mhm.
So yeah, there you go. Boy, he was hurt.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Conor McGregor here. I mean, he was real into it.
Mhm.
It's
And-
good to see though.
And speaking of being into it, we thought the co-main was going to be a foregone conclusion in a sense. And I'm referring to Jack the Diva Cully against Jose Felix Jr. But
Yes, that one was a rough one.
unfortunately, it ended a lot sooner than we anticipated and not the way that we thought it would.
It was a KO puncher, and I mean his record showed he punched hard.
Mm-hmm.
That one punch changed the fight. So
Yes.
But Cully had no respect. Well,
well, he's never been caught like that. Of course, he didn't.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
And this ref, okay,
Yeah,
He
that's what I
gave
was
him
gonna
every
say.
chance.
The ref gave him a chance or
Every
chances.
chance. I said
Yeah,
every
yeah.
chance he could.
Oh, he did, man.
No, but if you
just-
watch the knockout, kind of,
I felt bad because if you see Conor's reaction ringside,
yeah,
he's like,
no.
no, he's like, not.
Well, this
you
was
know?
Ireland's next big thing for
Yeah.
for male fighter, right?
Mhm.
yeah, for a male boxer, yeah, he's
Oh,
Yeah. So
yeah,
congrats to homeboy.
yeah.
I mean, Hearn doesn't learn his lesson not to take Mexicans over there. But
yeah,
in the UK. And speaking of which
next week,
we'll touch on next week, there's a potential for it to happen again. Well,
Oh, it already
it already
happened.
did once, but
Yeah.
in the other one, but we'll touch on it later. But
talking
yes,
about
you're right.
Wood versus
But
Lars.
even with that, I'm glad you touched on it because we saw some things on Twitter about people going after Hearn for matchmaking, and it's not the first time they've gone after him for it. I will say this. I don't like when people say that sometimes because then you're suggesting that you should put a certain type of fighter in with a guy he can beat or isn't too much of a risk. And the reason we give the UFC so much credit is because of their matchmaking, because they put evenly matched fighters in so much of the time. But then when something like this happens, I feel like boxing fans will react in the opposite way and go, well, why'd you put him in with that guy? You should do a better job as a promoter, blah, blah, blah. No. We want to see fights like this. And this coming weekend, we're going to see 2 main events with great matchups. So don't give me this jazz where you guys are upset about, well, why'd you put him in with that guy? No. If you're a promoter, you want to know how good your fighter is or isn't. Or am I wrong about that?
yeah. No,
but
definitely.
what
If
I-
you're going to move up to be a champion eventually, yes.
but
Exactly.
that's what he tried to do.
No, he tried. Hearn actually had a point. McGregor asked him, "Why'd you bring that guy?" He's like, "Dude, he lost like 3 of his last 4 fights."
Yeah,
Oh.
and he's like a foot
Oh, I didn't see
shorter.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sent it earlier. He
Oh,
was on
my
an
bad. No,
interview
yeah, I didn't-
with
I was-
Ariel Juan.
Yeah, okay.
And then right after the knockout, Conor turned to Eddie and he was like, "What are you doing? What did you say up for this?" Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, the guy's lost 3 fights."
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to some news and notes. While we're in the UK,
Yes.
we had Kell Brooks and Conor Ben getting into it, huh?
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Kilbrook is retired, right? He's not
Yeah.
fighting.
Well, no, he said he hasn't fully retired.
Okay. Because I like watching him fight.
Yeah,
But
it
he
was-
should retire.
But everybody was like,
honesty.
How did you disrespect a legend like Kell Brooks like this?
What legend?
Yeah, hey, listen.
Stop.
He's a
or
legend
no.
that was beating Crawford. What are
shouldn't
you
say that, I
talking
shouldn't.
about? He had a
Stop it.
lucky shot
Stop
landed
it.
and he got stopped.
Terrence Crawford did what he had to do.
Yeah, landed a lucky shot.
So, yeah, I don't know.
That shove was hilarious. He knew what he was doing. Conor Ben, of course.
Well, no, he didn't even like talk a little bit at first. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta talk a little shit first,
Right.
not just straight away shove
Yeah.
him and get separated.
Well, he kind of like did the shoulder nudge to let him know
Yeah.
he was there, and then he came back. But if that fight happens, it'll be here. because it can't happen in the UK.
Why?
Because
Conor Ben is still under the.
Well, not even just
BBBC.
Conor Ben, but Kell Brook got popped for or no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's.
I
slow down
apologize. That was Amir Khan. I
Yeah.
apologize. They
Yeah.
both fought each other. That's where I was getting mixed up. But no, that fight has to happen either here or in the Middle East
All right.
because Conor Ben's not allowed to fight in the UK.
Fair.
here. Yep.
And then the other one, Regis Prograis,
announcement.
we got a new opponent for Regis.
So, yeah,
And
Sorilla.
I'm pretty sure me and Juanillo feel the same way, and maybe John too, because we saw Sorilla fight.
I mean, Sorilla's not bad, but he's not
No,
Arnold
yeah.
Barbosa either, which I thought was going to happen and was
Yeah.
already done.
But then again, what did we just touch on with Eddie Hearn? I think if they put Regis against Barbosa, then people are going to criticize Eddie Hearn and go, well, why'd you put
No,
him in with that
Barbosa's
guy
next,
when that's
come
his first
on.
fight with you?
Because it's in Narlands.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, we want to see it against Barbosa because we know what that type of fight that would be. But, again, we just touched on it. People would go after Hearn and go, well, why'd you do that?
I mean, he's 17-1. His last.
Fight was a loss to Barbosa.
No. So he has a TKO against Aristides Quintero.
Okay, no, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
in my point, yeah.
But yeah, his last loss was to Barbosa the fight before that.
But I hope Barbosa's there, or put somebody there that you want to put him up against. I want to see Jack Catterall, but that's me being biased, and we will see Jack Catterall this coming Saturday, by the way.
Yeah, so are we going to touch on all those fights too right now? Or?
No.
No.
We'll wait until later
Okay.
in the week because we don't want to take away from what happened this weekend.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Then which other one?
That's
is that,
it.
does that
that's
cover- I
it.
thought
Well, we
had
could
one
talk
more
about
for news and
Navarrete with the
notes.
Valdez fight.
Valdez Navarrete, but we kind of already went
Yeah,
over
yeah,
that.
we already
Yeah,
went over
because
that. But I
you
thought
know-
there was one more for news.
There-
and
there
notes, but
isn't.
Maybe there is.
There isn't.
All right.
No, I just want to make sure we covered everything. And as always, guys, what do they need to do, Juanillo?
Comment, like, subscribe,
Hit the
check
bell
it out.
notification button.
Bell notification, check all our social media,
Mm.
and we will see you soon with another episode.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Just bleed.